Hello, everyone. It's Jean at Captain Stitches. Welcome, welcome. I'm just here this evening to do a live stitching chat. So, get that out of my way. But let me bring this up over here so I can see the live chat. Okay. Not seeing that there's anyone on yet, so we'll wait a little while. I'll be working on some slow stitching this evening. Not used to the delay over here. I don't know why I'm not. It says that there are message 3 here, but I don't see any messages, so I'm not seeing any chat. So if you're here, I don't see you. Say hello. It says there are 3 here. Let me see. Just moved. Devetta Centers. Hi, first time watching. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining in. Oh, there's a delay over on this one here. That is confusing when you watch that and see everything in delay. But I need to back up a little if you're going to see me stitching. But let's see. I believe that says Melody. Good evening, Melody. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, I just decided that I was should have been on this afternoon, but I didn't make it this afternoon. So I decided, well, there's still time this evening to come on. Hi, Mary Wilson. Thank you for joining. Good evening. So I decided I would come on this evening instead for a short while. I'm still working on some slow stitching. So I thought, well, I sit here and stitch. We can go ahead and chat a while. If you have any questions for what I'm doing, of course you can't see that, but as more pop on, I'll share this in a little while in what I am working on. She's working on cross stitch this evening. I have several cross stitch projects that are UFOs at this time, but I need to get some of them out. I have one that I did finish recently that I actually designed it as the center for a quilt, and I need to put that together so I can actually hang it someplace out here in my stitching cottage. It's of a camper that is a vintage camper that is in the actual colors of the stitching cottage out here. It's something I've always wanted and still hope someday to find one along the way. I love camping, but it would be great to have it to set up as a little on-the-go stitching unit. So that's just one of the small dreams and wishes that I have. I keep wanting to look up at that one and I cannot see it. I need to look over here at my phone beside me instead. So excuse me when I glance over to read the chat. But so Mary and Melody, are you working on any stitching that you would like to share and tell us about? I had to turn my light so that it wasn't shining into my laptop so that you would be able to see what I'm working on. So I myself am having a hard time seeing because I don't have any light, but I'm going to try and get that up to where you can see. Right now I'm just shadow stitching around this to fill in. There are a bunch of colonial knots that if I can bring this close enough, I don't know if you can see, but those dots are all actually on the fabric, and I'm doing the colonial knots right on top of the dots that are on that fabric. And then I added a little, it's called Ooh, I forgot the name of the stitch right now. It just left me. But there's a little flower down in this corner, and there's still light showing on that. I'm trying to get in a darker spot so that you can see it. I don't know how well that's showing up. And there's an old linen embroidery piece that's off the corner of a hanky, actually, that is on there. I know it's hard to see because it's light on light there, so it doesn't show up well. And this is a leaf cut out of a fabric. And there's some beading going on there, but I'm working on it, hoping to finish it tomorrow so that I can add it along with another one that I just finished into the book so I can show how you actually add these pages to your cloth stitching journal when you're finished with them. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. Not working on anything today, Melody. Been in construction zone most of the day. Ooh. What kind of a construction zone are you in? Are you remodeling or are you in a serious construction zone? But I'm just stitching along here, but I will pull the other one out that I just finished earlier today, which it's trimmed. And this is actually the cloth journal that'll be going in. It just needs to be attached to the page. But this is the one that I just finished earlier today. That's an old photo of my husband and I that I stitched out in black and white. I've shared it on Tip Demo Tuesday, I know, at one point, but it has quite a bit more stitching on it now. And that one I finally decided, if we turn that a little, you can see more of the stitching that's on there. But I decided this afternoon that, okay, I think this one is done. So it's ready to be added to the journal, which there is a little charm down here that says made with love. And then I did a pistol stitch in here to form kind of like a flower type thing. The pattern that's in this fabric, I did Lazy Susan stitches around. There's a little beading up here and then just a big stitch quilting there to add to that. This is just a braided trim that I added around there. The red accents are because this dress is actually red if the photo had been printed in color. There's lace trim down here. This was a moon that was in the cloth there that I just did some stitching around to embellish. Used the wrong color thread down here, so that's not going to show up. You can see it in person, but I don't think it's going to show up in camera. But there's some fern stitching going along there. But anyhow, that one is finished and ready to go in the book. So if I get this other one finished so I can add 2 pages at once, I will be showing how to do that in Tip Demo Tuesday, hopefully tomorrow afternoon. But hi, Donna. Thank you. Never made it to your quilting room today. You really need to long arm 8 quilts. Wow, Mary. Okay. I actually had, I've got one loaded on. I don't know if you can see behind me, which those are actually fish going across there. It's hard to tell from this distance, but all the water is batiks and then the fish are other pattern in there. It is from a client that her daughter and son-in-law love to fish. And I actually designed that pattern from one that she saw similar, but wanted it different. So it needed to be totally redone. So I redesigned that quilt for her for how she wanted it. And now it's on the long arm to be quilted. And I'm doing it in an ebb and flow so that it actually looks like the water moving along there. But that one's on there now. I have another one that a client will be dropping off later this week. I have 3 of my own that are stacked right by the long arm waiting in line, and I have 3 that are there in line. I have several that are in the cabinet of my own that aren't quilted yet, but I have 14 charity quilts waiting in line also to be quilted on the long arm right now. So Yeah. Love that. So pretty. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Donna. I didn't see you hop on, Donna. Hello. Hello, hello. I don't know what time it is where all of you are from. I didn't know if it was going to be late for people or not, but because of life happening and getting in the way, I know last week I wasn't able to come on for my scheduled live. So I thought, well, I better make the time to come on today, which is not the regular time. It's supposed to be, in the afternoon, but at least I made it this evening. So, and I'm stitching down where you can't even see my hand stitching. We'll scoot back a little. 8 p.m. Oh, Tracy, we're in Ohio. I'm in Ohio. Are you, am I thinking that you're by Cincinnati? I know somebody else was by Cincinnati. I'm not sure if that's you or not, Tracy. And I know Mona from Mona Did What lives in Ohio. I think Nancy from, I believe it's Our Treasured Home, lives in Ohio. There's several of us I'm finding live in Ohio, close to Youngstown. Okay, so you're the one up closer to Cleveland area instead, not who I'm thinking that is close in the Cincinnati area. I can't remember exactly who that is, but one of these days, there's so many of us that get on here together that are from Ohio. We're going to have to plan a retreat of some kind sometime, and all of us meet up at some central location and just have a great time together. I think that would be awesome for all of us to get to meet in person and do some stitching together. Who knows what we could get into, right? Oh, but I think that would be a great thing to plan somewhere down the line. Devetta is in Michigan, not far from Ohio, not far from the northern part of Ohio. I'm in more the southern area, not totally down south, but I'm from Xenia, Ohio, which is just outside of Dayton, south of Columbus. We are the town that is known for all the tornadoes, which we shouldn't say that we're, what is today? Today is actually the 49th anniversary of the 74 tornado that was really, really bad here in Ohio. I was not living here then, but I was living here when the one in 2000 went through and it actually hit our house. So I'm sure we could cause some kind of trouble. I'm sure we could. Oh, but we could certainly have a great time. We could certainly find some quilt shops, some thrift shops, some who knows what to find along the way. There's actually a retreat. Sorry about that. Didn't get the notifications turned off on my laptop. There's actually a retreat center I know in Holmes County in Charm, Ohio, in Amish country. And there's a lot of quilt shops still in that area. I know of a really great bed and breakfast right outside of Charm that I've been to. I've been there 3 times, and I'm getting ready I will be there on the 19th and the 20th, actually, for their mini quilt shop hop. It's the mini shop hopping cuisine or whatever. You had to register, and they're actually going to be serving something to eat at each shop also. But I believe it's I believe it's just six shops in this one. So, but I'm looking forward to that. I used to go to their major shop hop that is, let me see, it's the last weekend, first weekend in November of every year, but I haven't been able to go the last. Well, they didn't have it, of course, during COVID, and then I wasn't there, I don't think, about a year before that. So it's been a while, but I'm looking forward to it. Actually taking a friend of mine who is a new quilter, so it'll be a really awesome experience for her. I don't see her on here this evening. So, but she was here in the stitching cottage earlier today. Monday is one of her days to come over and stitch with me. So she was here spending the day and actually working on some slow stitching also today. But if I decide that I'm not going to do all of the dots that are on that fabric in Colonial Stitches, I may get this finished tonight. Or at least early tomorrow morning. Whoops. It's a little different doing it without great. I mean, it looks nice and bright here, but right where I'm actually working, I don't have the light that I'm used to having, because it just it does good for giving a good good photo on the video, but gives off quite the glare if you try to show anything to those of you viewing. So I had to turn it. It's actually pointed the other direction, so I'm not getting the light from it that I normally do. But some of you, I could go ahead and show you my little thing on my finger. That's to help pull my needle through. And the thimbles that I use are the, we'll see if you can see that, are the Roxanne thimble. They're a really, really good thimble. I have 3 of them. I have really small fingers. This is actually a size 3.5. But I have that in the size 4, because any of you that do hand quilting or hand stitching know that your finger changes sizes during the day, during the time of day, during the amount of use, and depending on the humidity. So I have 2 different sizes, so I can wear whichever one fits for that according to that. But I have 3 of them. Everyone is so quiet. Do any of you watch Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore? I think she usually drops her videos. I know on Friday she has her free pattern Friday, which as she says, all of her patterns are free, and her demonstrations and everything. That's just what she calls it on Friday. But I know that she gave a shout out this morning. Cute thimble. I use one that had rubbery silicone and a metal tip. I know which one you're talking about. I think I have one of those in my stash someplace, Tracy. I've tried many thimbles along the way. These ones I came across, these are, like I said, the Roxanne, which now I know you can get them at Colonial Needle Company, and they're really good on sending them out and getting them, which actually my one was too big, and I knew that they had a guarantee, but I didn't know that if for any reason whatsoever they will replace them. So I had called and was wanting to order another size, and she very kindly told me, she says, well, send the one that you have and we will replace it with the correct size. So I thought that was awesome. But of course, they have them in silver and gold. So I have 2 silver and 1 gold because I had to have the gold and the silver. But they are the most comfortable and best fitting thimble that I have ever found. But you have to really be a hand stitcher to want to be willing to invest in them, because they are on the pricey side, but well worth it. Very, very well worth it. Oh, I'm going to have to work myself into a corner here. Not the corner that I want to be in, so I'm going to have to tie a knot and move on over to where I do want to be. What's that saying? Nobody puts baby in a corner. I worked myself into the corner. Do any of you watch the So Yeah Brothers Sell Fabric on YouTube Tuesday and Saturday evenings? I caught them for the first time. I didn't know, but I got a notification that they were live and caught them over there. But boy, I tell you, which I think that was a flash sale. I don't know. I don't know if it was one of their regular ones or not, but that's the first time I was watching them. And they had some great bargains on there from what I could tell and see. But boy, did that move fast. I mean, it was just like, and I thought, oh, if there's something I want, I'm never going to be able to get that number in quick enough to be the one that gets it, because it was only one of everything that they were selling that night. So, hello, Sarah from Sarah's Quilting Journey. Welcome. Hi. Thanks for stopping by. I'm actually working on my... Ooh, there's not much thread there. I should really go ahead and rethread that before I go on, or I'll move on over and run out of thread anyway. So I'm using Baldani Pearl Cotton this evening. Size 8 right now in a variegated. But that's what I'm stitching with right now. Oops, we don't want to get it too long. And I have broke 2 needle threaders today, which I actually said to my friend that comes on Monday when I broke the second one. I said, a woman needs to design a needle threader so that they are made better and don't break so easily. Sorry, man, but sometimes they just don't quite understand some of what we need. Okay. Got that there. Friday was a special show. They do not normally go that fast. Okay. Mary says, okay, let's go back up. First, Tracy said, I watched them a couple of times, Mary, but I don't have the patience to sit through those kinds of sales. It was rather long. I know the one on, I guess it must have been Friday that I was watching. I don't know. Mary says that she's hooked. Flash sales are crazy. Yeah, that was, I couldn't believe how quick that was. And like I said, I don't know. Some of them must have an inkling and know a little bit about how their numbering system is going to be, because I just don't know how they got those numbers in there that fast. Not that I need. Definitely don't need anything, but we still see things we like, and when you're on something like that, you sure can be tempted. Okay, now let's figure out where my best position is to go so I don't end up in a corner again. We're going to come back over here. For those of you that just hopped on, I'll pick this up and try and show you again what I'm working on this evening. which I know the light colors are hard to see on there, but this is what I am stitching on, trying to finish up. I wish that I can't tell whether you're seeing the dots on that fabric on the one that's got the antique, oops, the antique hanky on this one, and then the fabric behind it has all kinds of little dots on it. So I am doing the colonial knots over the circle areas of all the dots on there, and then I will decide later how many I want to do, whether I want to go back and fill in all the little dots on that fabric or just leave it with the circle ones that I'm doing. We'll see whether it says this page wants to be done. Oh. What are you working on, Sarah? And I don't think we asked you, Donna, what you weren't here when we asked what everybody's working on. If you'd like to share with us. Oops. Got a knot in my thread. Don't want that. Come out. There, got it. I also shared the book. I think there's, I forget how many pages. I think there'll be 16 pages to this cloth journal, which there aren't any of them filled right now, but I finished this one earlier today. That'll be going in there. So, but I wanted to be able to give a demonstration on how the pages get added to the book. And they actually really need to be added 2 at a time because, you have to sew it in, and there's one on the front of the page, one on the back of the page. So it just makes sense to add them both at the same time. So you're only sewing through them once instead of twice to add them and sew them into the book. That's why I'm trying to finish this one also, that I will have 2 completed to be able to put in there and then do a demonstration on how I add them to the pages of the book. Tracy says she's working on an attic window block for the hanging in there wall hanging. Okay. I'm not familiar with that, but it sounds interesting. Hanging in there. Is that someone's group project, Tracy, or a sew along on YouTube? Not familiar with that one. I got a new book today. I was trying to see where I placed it. Oh, it's way over there, so we won't get up and get that. But it is called Organic Applique, and it's by Kathy Doherty of Material Obsession, and it is an awesome book. There's a lot of information and goes into a lot of detail on her process of doing it. So it's going to be interesting reading as well as doing some of the projects that are in it. It's a little bit outside of my box. I don't usually go that wild and colorful. But hey, I am willing to try anything. They are definitely beautiful. I also came across, and I don't know, I may be able to reach that. Oh, okay, Kathy's Quilts and Crafts. That's one that I am just found last week also for the first time and started watching them, Tracy. So you're just making it too hard as usual. Everyone else is long finished. I'm going to see if I can grab this box down here without knocking anything over. Oh, because there was another pattern I came across. I think it's in here that I had forgotten that I had. Maybe it's not in here. I thought it was in. Yep, here it is. Which is one of the Jen Kingwell patterns. Oh, slide that over there. But it's called Long Time Gone. I don't know if any of you have seen that one, but let me try and find there's some of the blocks that are in it. But I'm trying to find where it shows a photo of the finished quilt. There it is. It's this one. And I had forgot that I even had that. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting to start on that sometime soon, which I'll just go through and use a bunch of scraps in that one. But looking forward to that. I always come across things like that when I'm looking for something else. It's like, oh, well, how'd that get there? And totally forgot that I even had it. Busy quilt, but beautiful. Yep. I was going to say, I'm going to try and figure out. I don't know if any of you that are on here ever moderate, but if anyone that is on here does that at all and would like to volunteer to put some of the links in, let me know and I'll give you a wrench. I'm still new to that, and I was afraid when I did it the other day when I was alive that I was actually going to lose myself. I'm going to do Long Time Gone. Okay, that's, yeah, the one that I just showed. Okay, Mary. Are you going to do it from scraps or are you going to purchase fabric for it? I figured I've got plenty of fabric. I think I might not have enough wild bright fabric, but we'll see what I have. Yeah, going from the Civil War era themed one that I just did to Jen Kingwell is quite a change. Keeps things interesting though. You don't have to ever get bored, that's for sure. Trying to think. Oh, this is like a cross between a raffia burlap trim that I used in here to tie this bow that's on here that I'm doing the shadow quilting around right now. Some of the little hairy pieces of it are getting caught in the needle and thread as I go along, but gives it some nice dimension. Scraps. Okay. You think you have plenty. I think most of us have plenty unless we're just starting out. Or if you were like my sister who only worked on one project at a time, only purchased the fabric for that project and finished that project before she started anything else. I never was able to do that. And then I worked in a quilt shop for a while, which those of you that are in Ohio or near, I'm sure have heard, which it's no longer there. They closed during COVID. Yeah. They didn't open their brick and mortar. Well, I said that wrong, but they didn't open their store back up. They're still online, but it was Fabric Shack. I worked there for a while, so I really, really grew my stash of fabric while working there. I don't think I ever brought a paycheck home. I just bought fabric and patterns and everything else home. I just told everybody my husband now spends less in fabric. Took bathroom apart, put walk-in tub. Yes, we did that a few years back, Melody. That's quite the undertaking. Bathroom remodels are not fun. But my husband was the chief plumbing inspector for our county for several years. So he actually did the majority of all that work himself. He did that right before I was having my first knee replacement. He decided to make it more handicap accessible at that time. So oh, you're putting in a walk-in tub though, one of those okay, we took out the tub totally and put in a walk-in shower. And a handicap height toilet. And now he's going to replace the toilet again. Other one I want to do of hers is Wensdale. I haven't seen that one, Mary. I'll have to look it up. Oh, but I was saying he's going to replace our toilet again, but he said he's going to wait until I'm away in Amish country. So he doesn't have to worry about somebody needing to use the toilet when he's got it out and the other one not put in yet. That's nice of him to wait until I'm gone. Wensleydale. I wonder how you actually say that. Wensleydale? It's a different name. When I get off here, I'll have to look that one up and see which one that is. Oops. But speaking of going from Jen Kingwell to what I'm actually going to be starting on this month is Jan Paddock. Quite different style. But there's a one that I'm going to do for a sew along for those that want to join in, and it's her tabletop turnabouts. And they're they actually measure like 12 by 25 because you fold it over so it's two-sided and put it on the stand that way so you can see a quilt from both sides when it's displayed. There's 10 little quilts in it, and there's some of them are, whoa, we were just going to go in there with the wrong thread to start on those colonial knots again because I just finished the portion that I'm in. But some of them are seasonal. Some of them can be used throughout the year and whatever, but they're cute little quilts. Applique, of course, in the more primitive style. It's on the cover of that book. Well, this one is The Long Time Gone on the cover of this book. So maybe are they calling this a different name? I like sewing the smaller projects. I'm just learning and it's easier to handle. Plus, I get to see results sooner. Yes, I agree, Tracy. Sometimes we like that quick gratification. It's also good for, newer quilters to see something done sooner. It makes them feel good because it's actually, something that they can accomplish and get done. Okay. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. You must be talking about a different book because it's not on the cover of this book. Not the one that I have anyway. Mine only has The Long Time Gone on it by Jen Kingwell. There is no other, doesn't show any other quilt in this one. It's got all, yep. Yep, I don't see it called any other name than that. So, oh, well, I don't have the quilt recipes book. I'm sorry. I see that now. Okay. Hello, Nancy from Our Treasured Home. Welcome. Okay, thank you for clarifying that to me, Mary. Yeah, I don't think I have that book anyhow. I didn't know I had the one that I have either, so you never know. As I go looking, I may find that I have another one I wasn't sure of, but now I need to find a needle that I can thread with the other color that I was doing the. We'll just unthread this one and put it in there. Similar colors, but not the same. So one's lighter than the other one. But go on and do some of the colonial knots. We got go for about 15 minutes yet. Oh, that's all right. It doesn't take much to confuse me, Mary, not at all. And it's okay. I just thought you were talking about the cover of the book that I had. So no problem. But Tracy says, my mom was a quilter and I have a ton of quilts stored away in an armoire. I really don't need more quilts. Oh, I tell you, I have so many. Plus I have about 5 antique hand-pieced, hand-quilted ones that are about 100, maybe over 100 years old now. Which my husband saw one of those the other day and he says, "Oh, I really like that quilt." I actually had it out here on my ladder display there. And he saw it and says, "Oh, I really like that quilt." And I thought, well, it may be an antique and it may be old, but if he really likes it, went ahead and my husband is has had 4 strokes, is on oxygen 24/7, and has Parkinson's. So he does. I'm his sole caregiver, and he does have his own bed. So when I say we put the quilt on his bed, just to clarify that. But since he really liked it, I decided, well, he can have that and put it on his bed. It's all right. I'm sure when it was made by the woman who made it, she made it to be beloved and used. So we will let him use it. If it can bring joy to his life, that's how I feel about it. You do have 3 or 4 quilt kilts that you will eventually make, you hope. Yeah. We don't even want to go there. You don't want to. Can't even begin to tell you how many I have to do. Let's just say probably at least 25 to 50 women could retire and quilt every day, and we'd never go through everything that I have to do. So but I will never have the lack of anything to find when I finish one thing to go on to another project. So, and the majority of them are already started. And then I have I have an 18-foot wall of from floor to ceiling fabric that is just stashed that has no intended purpose other than to be used at some point in time. But was purchased just because I liked it. I am hoping. You have not made a quilt yet, Nancy? I know you're a crocheter. I'm also a crocheter. I've actually designed a few patterns a few years back. So I say the only stitching I don't do much of, I know how, but it's not one of my preference, and that I've never learned to do well is knitting. So that's not one you will find me sharing any information on, because I know just enough in that to get myself in trouble. That's what I'll say when it comes to that. I can do I can knit dishcloths. I could probably knit a scarf, but that's about it. I must have decided that I was going to do more of the colonial knots, the dots on this fabric, because I'm now not doing the circles. I'm filling in where the circles aren't, but we're going around the one circle that's there, I guess, is what I'm doing. You bought an industrial machine to make bags, loads of vinyl and hardware, but I still haven't gotten started. I feel you there, Tracy. What industrial machine did you purchase? I've been looking at them. I put one in my shopping bag the other night. I haven't hit, to get it, but I thought, well, I don't want to have to look it up again. So it's there if I decide that I really, really want to bite the bullet and get it. I'm having a hard time convincing myself that it makes good sense right now to purchase another machine, but I keep thinking I'm going to look up and see somebody, but all I see is myself looking back at me. It's like, okay, who's there? All we see is names in a chat box. I had to check and see if Katie Sue, our little Yorkie, was actually out here or not because she's been so quiet. She's sleeping away in her dog bed. But she actually has a quilt. It's actually quilted with little dog bones on it. And it's pink and black. It's old. I probably should make... Oh, the thought that just went through my mind wasn't good, but I was going to say I should probably make her a new one, but we had 3 Yorkies. We're down to 1. We just recently, it's been a while since we lost the first one, but we just had to have the other one. Oh, I don't think it's been a month yet that we had to have her put down from cancer. And they were all within 6 months of age of each other. So she was 15 years old and Katie Sue is 15 years old. So Texo. I haven't heard of Texo. Who carries that one, Tracy? I wouldn't know where to go to research it. I have 4 Yorkies. I had 2 and took your mom's when she passed a year ago. Oh, I'm sorry that you lost your mom also. If I could reach, I'd bring down I have a portrait quilt that I did of my mom hanging in my cottage now. Well, it's always been hanging somewhere, but it hangs in the cottage now, and we have conversations once in a while. Any of you that have lost your moms, I'm sure you understand what I meant by that. So there are always those days and those moments. A lot of times it's 2:00 in the afternoon for me because my mom and dad always, no matter where they were or whatever, they would, at 2:00 in the afternoon, they would make a pot of coffee and sit down at the table and have something sweet and their coffee. If you were visiting at the time, you also had coffee and something sweet. So she often goes through my mind at 2:00 in the afternoon, and sometimes I will sit and have a cup of coffee with her and have a little memory chat. Maybe sometimes a good cry. You know how that is also. So. Are you still here, Nancy? If you are, what are you crocheting right now? You were working, well, you had made a hat. I think you were working on a blanket the last time I saw you. My little piece of trim. Oops. Oh, I guess it is that short. Keeps popping up here. This thread is close enough in color, so I'm going to take a little stitch and stitch that down. How nice and comforting. Thank you, Tracy. It was so funny. Speaking of moms, I hadn't gotten my hair cut in 4 years, and I got it cut the other day. trimmed a little. But I was sitting in front of a great big mirror that they had there, and I looked up and saw myself, and I thought, "Oh." And she said, "Well," I said, "I look just like my mom." And laughed. I said, "Not that that's a bad thing, but it was just like you don't always notice the really striking resemblance at times. And it was just one of those that hit me, and I thought, oh goodness. And of course, as we age, I think we see more of our parents in us. Yo, Patty. Hi. I thought I said hi when I came in at the start. Just in case I didn't, hello. No, I didn't see you at all. So thank you. Have you been lurking behind all this time, not saying anything? Oh. I said earlier before some of you were on, which is getting, well, it's too late now. It's about time to go off, but I apologize for not dropping any links this evening. Hopefully next time I will get at that, or we'll have someone that will volunteer to moderate for me so that we can drop your links. Those of you that have channels that are watching. Patty, I like that. I've been cleaning my closet and listening. Closet is done. Oh, wow. You can come over and clean my closet. Oh, no, right now I don't want anybody to see my closet. I'd have to at least do a little cleaning before I'd even let anybody come over and see my closet and clean it right now. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm supposed to be sorting and going through in there, and I haven't got around to it. So I just kind of threw everything in the corner in it and said, I'll get to it later. Hello, how are you doing? Why do we always want to say that in a different accent? I don't even know where that came from. But I'm back over to a corner. I'm going to lay this down because we've been going for about an hour. That's about what I plan to be on. So I do want to thank all of you that came and joined me this evening. I will try to get on more of a regular schedule, but so that it's not always the last minute that I'm letting everybody know and that I'm going on. You can be prepared and plan for it in your day. But thank you for coming on. I hope that you have enjoyed just kind of watching me stitch, which we did. I did finish all of that corner up there, the rest of it, oops, while we were talking. And now I've started in on the colonial knots down here again. And this part here, I'll pick up the book and show you. I think I'm going to do the feather stitch in that part. So we still have that to finish. And then this page will be ready to go with the other one and add to the cloth stitching journal. Like I said, hopefully tomorrow. But I will take this off. Good night, Tracy. Good night, Donna. She's starting on her, Yo Patty G is starting on her swap. Theme is, this time is renew, recycle, and regift. I like that. I keep thinking I need to get 3 large trash cans or something to sort the stuff in as I go, but that's a great idea. Thank you for sharing that. So again, thank you everybody for joining me. Have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy your stitching, and I will see you again soon right here in the Stitching Cottage. Bye-bye.